Great. Okay, we'll continue with the presentation. I know we have IEP students here. So, of course, IBP is another signature program we have here where you can combine any discipline in business, like global business, logistics, marketing, and so on, with a language, like in the IEP. And in our interconnected world and global marketplace and diverse world, we speaking another language and having a cultural understanding of the host culture where you are going to study and intern abroad is especially important, and it binds you, it shares a common basis for you and the people you are going to meet all over the world. And in a nutshell, of course, for those who are the freshmen here in the group, the International Engineering Program, what it is, it's just engineering plus a foreign language. You know that you're taking one language course per semester, and it's a great match to use your left side of the brain and the right side of your brain, and it hopefully creates some very creative, talented, culturally savvy, technically sophisticated, and bilingual engineers at the end of your journey with the IEP and the IBP. And we have all languages represented today, except for the Chinese, but Chinese has another session, I believe, the Chinese flagship program. And all of the other languages are represented today, French, German, Italian, Japanese, and Spanish. And you can combine it, as you know, with any of the engineering disciplines, as most of you have already done, and some of you will be declaring these majors in the sophomore year. And similarly, on the basis of the 30 or 32 years old international engineering program at URI, a lot of other programs were built on the same model, including the International Business Program, which also has a study semester abroad and an internship of 6 months. International Computer Science Program functions with the same model. The International Pharmacy Science Program is about to start. I think the first students are going in 2 years. And the International Science and Diplomacy Program, that is, of course, they have their own session where you can combine a language degree with studies in economics, political science, and also go around the world and become highly proficient in a foreign language. And of course, the best part, or what we would call the capstone or highlight of the career, is the 4th year, or for some of you now, the 5th year of studying and interning abroad. You can study in any of these countries. Right now, I think everybody chose to go to Spain, but in previous years, we also had students go to Chile. And China is now also, if you are a flagship IEP student, divided into China and Taiwan, so there are more opportunities there. If it says France, students usually study in France, but they could intern in any French-speaking part. They could intern in Canada, in Belgium, for example, and maybe in the future in French-speaking Africa, who knows. Germany is also kind of a placeholder. You can study in Germany, but you can also intern in Austria, or you can intern in Switzerland, or even in Liechtenstein, as we had some students do who were interested in roller coaster design. So then there's Italy, Japan, and Spain, study of a semester, and then 6 months international internship. You all know that. It's rigorous. It's a rigorous program because you're juggling all of these different classes, usually at 19 credits. But you get a really valuable experience. You get real work experience at a global company or research lab. You build global connections, you will make lifelong friends, and it's intense, but very immersive. And imagine yourself being in these places that our students have lived abroad, being there next year, or being in 2 years or in 3 years. And where you can also intern. Imagine yourself there. And shortly, because we will get a lot of questions when it comes to submitting budgets to the demers, for example, for the demers scholarship. Just a reminder that the year of study abroad might be even the least expensive. If you think about that, even out-of-state students who are in the IEP pay in-state tuition during the semester of study abroad. And during the internship semester, there is no tuition being charged. Alyssa Poi, who is also on the call with us, she is inviting all of the URI juniors and seniors who are going abroad to a URI abroad session, and she will go over the budgets with you. But in general, the big chunk of tuition that you normally pay when you stay here at URI for the spring semester is not going to be charged. Some OIE fees and off-campus study fees apply, but in general, you can save a lot of money there. And as you know, most internships are paid, or IEP is trying to come up with a substitute, like a scholarship for you during the internship semester. And some of you already live in our awesome IEP living and learning community. This semester, actually, we have 55 students here. And the great thing about living here, and you can do so from the sophomore year on, after you finish living in the EGR, living and learning community, you can live here and sometimes be paired with a roommate who speaks the same language, because we are also housing exchange students from our partner universities there. So you might learn French and live together with a roommate from Compiègne, UTC, or from China, or from Unical, or from Unisar in Spain or in Italy. So think about it if you're a freshman, or if you don't yet live in...
You're shooting from the window.
If you don't yet live in the IEP living and learning community, consider submitting an application. You can always ask me or Angela Graney or Melissa how to do that, but you're eligible to do so after you finish living in your freshman LLC. These are some of the companies we work with and where our alums of the program have gone on to work for. Some also did internships at these companies. And if you finish the IEP, IBP, you're also very highly competitive to land in a great school for graduate degrees. Our students have gone on to Brown, MIT, Princeton, Stanford, Virginia Tech, and other schools. And so this is also a big advantage of the program. You show that you can handle staying abroad and taking care of yourself and doing that all on your own. And this shows perseverance and self-reliance and efficacy that graduate programs also want to see. So how can you benefit from any of these signature programs? You become proficient, sometimes fluent, sometimes advanced in a second language. You are competitive in a technical discipline and in the global marketplace because you understand how other cultures approach problem solving in engineering or in business or in computer science. You get hands-on experience, but not only in a local company, but in a foreign culture and where you have to maneuver with global teams. You are going to acquire cross-cultural skills, which are extremely important to navigate diverse work cultures and also cultures around where you live. And you build global network. And of course, if you ask our returnees, travel around the world, travel within Europe or Asia or Latin America was one of the highlights. You grow as a person, you arrange your own travel. It's very easy, also cheap in Europe and in Asia too. And so you learn not only the technical skills and the language skills, but you become a problem solver, you become more flexible, and you develop empathy for other cultures. this is maybe the most important part about coming out of our IEP, IBP, ICSP programs. And now comes my big task. I have to now sort you into breakout rooms, and I'm going to try to do that by stopping the share and sorting you in the Germany, the France, the Italian room, the Japanese room, and the Spain room, okay? So you have to bear with me now, but because I'm looking at your names and have to assign you to a room. And I have a cheat sheet here, so stay with me. In your room will be your IEP director, and oh no, we're not moving you to breakout groups yet. I'm sorry. We are continuing to go with the presentation. I'm so sorry. We first hear from our ambassadors now. And the first one is Sandra.
Salut à tout le monde, je m'appelle Sandra and I actually just graduated from IEP last semester and I am now doing my master's at URI in ocean engineering. So I studied French and ocean engineering and I went abroad about 2 years ago to France. And so the first part of the program, I participated in a 1-month immersion program run by our partner university in France, which is l'Université de Technologie de Compiègne, or UTC for short. And this was followed by a semester of study at UTC where I took 5 classes, and they were a mix of engineering and humanities courses. And then the semester after that, I moved to Brest, which is in the Brittany region of France. It's like the western tip on the Atlantic Ocean. And there I did my internship in France Énergie Marine, which is a research institute for marine renewable energies. And that is my primary interest, subject of interest. And so there I worked on analyzing extreme wave data.
Great, thank you. And the next one, we hear from Harrison.
Hello, hello. Okay, sorry. Coming in. Okay.
Hi, Harrison.
Hi, I'm Harrison. Konnichiwa, Milan. I was a computer engineer, and I went to Kyushu University in Japan, and I went to Hexagon Metrology, which is also in Quonset, in Shizuoka, Japan. And yeah, that's it. It was a great time, other than the corona. Thank you very much.
And we have Milan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hello, Servus. My name is Milan Toljan. I'm a German IBP student, so I'm a member of the College of Business. I study supply chain management, as well as, as well as German. So I'm in my 5th year, and last fall I spent 7 months, more or less, in Austria. So I was in a city called Linz, which is halfway between Salzburg and Vienna. And I was working for a company there, K-Kilit, GmbH. And so this company manufactures specialty piping and other kinds of piping equipment for commercial and residential apparatuses. And so while I was working there, I was leading a specialized team to improve logistics and deal with specifically third-party vendors that transported goods for our clients all across the globe. So secondarily to that, I also managed specific customer accounts, including countries including Hungary, Slovakia, New Zealand, Singapore. And so I had the opportunity to actually travel to some of these places and see what our product was actually doing there as well. And I got to communicate with a lot of other people outside of just those people I worked with in Austria. After that, I went to Germany briefly, and I was in Hamburg at the Hochschule für angewandte Wissenschaft, which is the Hamburg University of Applied Sciences. And I took classes there and eventually switched to online when I was called home. So that was my experience.
Thank you very much, Milan. And next we have Gian from the Spanish IEP.
Hola, me llamo Gian. ¿Qué tal? So I am a chemical engineering student in my 5th year currently in the pharmaceutical track of chemical engineering. So so I study at the University of Zaragoza. Zaragoza is located in the central part of Spain. So while I was there, I took one engineering course, which was environmental engineering. I also took 3 Spanish courses that were considered general education courses. So I took linguistics, I took a philosophy of science course, and a politics course. So I also interned at 3P Biopharmaceuticals. So that is located north of Spain, in Pamplona. So day one, I was assigned a project which involved the scale up of a biochemical process. I guess you can also consider it as fermentation if you want to be specific about it. But so this scale up was modeled on a software called Biosolve. I also had to gather, data about the raw materials and, all of the costs necessary needed to conduct this reaction on an industrial level. So it was also a lot of calculations, but about the reactor and like all the flow rates involved with everything. So it was actually a really good opportunity for me to use like all of the, the engineering applications that I've learned in my courses at URI. So that was great. And I'm also a member of AICHE. I don't know if anybody here is a member of that, but if you're a chemical engineer, I highly advise that, you're part of that. It's a great way to connect with, other chemical engineers and people in industry, and it can really get you places in the future.
Great, thank you so much, Gian. And Jeff is also here.
Hallo zusammen, guten Abend. My name is Jeff Kimmerlein. I'm in my 5th year in the German IEP. Last year, I spent about 7 months in Germany, first at the Technische Universität Braunschweig, where I was studying some classes on material science as well as vehicle technology. After about 6 months in Braunschweig, I moved down to Friedrichshafen to work with ZF. And that's where I started my internship in the drivetrain research and development. Got to spend about 2 weeks there. And then after coming home, unfortunately, that internship was specific to being in person. So I was not able to continue online. But coming home, I was able to work with the ventilator project that took place on the URI campus. In testing and repairing these CPAP and BiPAP machines for COVID patients, as well as completing a research project this summer with staff of the engineering department. And I'm also a member of the URI RAM band and PEP band, if anyone else is. And currently, I've been working at a bike shop for a number of years now. And my future plans are to continue with material science classes and hopefully work my way into the bicycle industry and continue from there.
Great, thank you. And we have the Italian ambassador, Brian.
Ciao tutti. I'm Brian. I am the Italian IEP ambassador, like Sigrid had mentioned. I spent my time at the Università delle Calabria. I, like everyone, or like a lot, only got 7 months there, but it was an amazing 7 months. Engineering is a pretty hard discipline, as a lot of you have found out or will come to find out. And my time at Unical was kind of a breath of fresh air for me. I only took 3 classes as opposed to my normal 7 or 8. I got to spend a lot of time really focusing on learning the language and just getting the cultural appropriation and development, and just spending time getting immersed in the culture rather than focusing so much on the school, which was an amazing experience. Of course, you still get to learn some nifty stuff and learn from a new perspective. I essentially took a class that was a repeat of one of my classes plus a whole new class. And that repeat was taught in a whole new way that I had never learned before. Essentially, learning the same material from a bunch of different perspectives, giving me resources to learn or to problem solve from new angles, which was a really fantastic experience as well. If you guys have any questions about Unical itself, please reach out to me. I'll be able to answer anything you've got. And then for my internship, I was able to work at Hexagon. Unfortunately, my connection with them in Italy was not able to happen. But they're a really nice company. So when I came back to the US early, they were able to hook me up with a job. And I was able to work there here in Quonset.
Yeah, that was fortunate. And now we are moving on to Aaron Herzer. He's also a German IEP student, but he will come in later at the end of the show when we talk about the DAAD RISE scholarship. But go ahead, Aaron, maybe focus a little bit on your research.
So hi, my name's Aaron. It's a little bit echoey, hopefully it's not too bad. So anyway, so I was also in Braunschweig with Jeff, and we worked on, yeah, this is very echoey. Okay. Brian's sitting here too, so that's why it was messing things up. But anyway, so yeah, so was in Braunschweig, TU Braunschweig, took some material science classes. I did some research at EFOS, so they work on jet turbines and sort of stuff like that. So I was working on kind of simulating a turbine in this program called MPSS. And, you know, in Braunschweig, at TU Braunschweig, it was a lot of language sort of skills that you develop, which I think is very valuable. You know, you do engineering and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, when you, you know, graduate as an engineer, go to the field, you really want to have some social skills. So you get a lot of that while you're abroad. Anyway, so after 6 months in Braunschweig, I went down to Munich and worked for MTU Aero Engines. And there I did some VBA programming in Excel for only a week. And then I was able to fortunately continue it remotely once I returned and the dust had settled and all that sort of stuff. And well, there you go. There is my year abroad. I really liked it, and I recommend it. There's my email. Someone's hovering over it, so feel free to reach out.
Okay, don't disappear yet, Aaron.
Will do.
Brian, you will now be sorted by the sorting head. So I stop sharing now and give me a couple of minutes because I first have to sort all of you before I can open the breakout rooms. Okay, don't disappear, anybody. All right. Okay, I'm looking for Kyle and Michael and Dean.
Sigrid, do you mind if I pull up a list of tomorrow's events to just post while
No,
you're...
go ahead while I'm sorting. Exactly.
All right, so this is a listing of the events happening tomorrow for International Education Week. If you're interested in joining us, you can go to the website uri.edu/global/IEW and register for any one of them. We definitely recommend checking out some of the funding opportunities tomorrow. For instance, the Fulbright program, the Bourne Awards, certainly something that you might be interested in checking out. And then later in the week, there's also a session on the Demers scholarship. for languages. And also for those of you who might have a Pell Grant as part of your financial aid package, you would be eligible to apply to the Gilman Awards. URI actually has been in the past 5 years or so. At one point, we were actually a top sending school for students who were Gilman recipients. And the Gilman Award is a prestigious government award as well, specifically focused on bringing students to areas, preferably in areas that are a little bit underrepresented in study abroad, but also finding some additional funding for students up to $5,000. And if it's in an area of a critical language, it can be up to $8,000 for a semester. So, and that would be on Friday. So just some other options. If you have time and you'd like to join any of the additional events coming up, please feel free to put those on your calendar.
And yeah, why don't you keep talking, whoever wants to talk, because it takes me much longer than I expected.
Sure.
You're
Well,
not all coming in the same sequence here.
We also do have, for those of you who might be looking to take some time off post-graduation and do something to give back, the Peace Corps session is tomorrow evening as well, the Peace Corps prep program. And we do have a number of URI students who select this as an option post-graduation. And obviously your skills in the area of engineering would be certainly sought after in the area of the Peace Corps. So if that's something that you're interested in, a great way to give back and be part of a global community effort as well. Thursday, we have a whole range of events, including some that might be interesting. In particular, be Demers. And then we do have a discussion with some URI alumni in the evening. So some who actually still live overseas and have incorporated what they've learned at URI to continue living overseas. We have students that are throughout the US as well, but kind of how, you know, in reflection of how study abroad kind of affected not only their path at URI when they returned, but how it affected them as they continued on in their studies.
Mm-hmm. And also the alums, the ambassadors can also chime in. You can say more, Harrison or so, whoever was in the beginning. Any of the ambassadors or the directors can join in.
I just want to underline how important the DEMIR session is for students that are going to go abroad. In the past, we have great success with students getting scholarships from the DEMIRs and from the Rhode Island Foundation. And this has been extremely helpful for them to cover for the expenses of living abroad. The DEMIRs has been very generous, and they have award scholarships anywhere between $5,000 to $15,000, even to, in some cases, I think that the maximum that they awarded is $20,000. So imagine going abroad with that money in order to pay for your accommodation, for any kind of expenses that you are going to have there. It's going to give you a lot of more freedom to get to know the country and to move around during weekends, breaks and things like that. So, and you have to consider that the DEMIR's scholarships gives priority to students from the University of Rhode Island. So it's really crucial and important. And actually, if you read the message that Sigrid sent, it's mandatory that you attend that session. So I just want to also tell you that if you need help with the process, if you need help with your essays, you can always count on the directors for to read your essays and give you feedback ahead of time. You don't have to wait until the very last minute to have all those materials ready. If you go through a revision process, it increases significantly your possibilities to be successful with the application. So not only attend the session, also, you know, prepare your materials early and give us the opportunity to give you feedback on those. And I think that Sigrid is ready.
I'm not ready. So I must tell you that I sorted some, and then in some of the rooms will be less than expected. I don't know how to add anybody on after I sorted them. So in the Japan room are only 2 right now. In Italy, there are 5 or 6. In France, there are 4. In Spain, only 2. In Germany, 14. So I will open all the rooms and then I try to assign the other ones who are left in the main room, okay?
Perfect.
Okay, I clicked open all rooms and now unassigned. Okay, that's how it is. Okay, assign and Bennett Lou. Okay. And Caitlin Murray is, maybe you can just speak up, Caitlin, you are in French.
Yeah, I'm in French, yeah.
Yeah. And then Daniel Rees is also in Japan, right? No, Daniel Rees is in
Spanish.
Okay, yeah, that works better. And Daniel Sosa, where are you?
Spanish.
Okay. Eddie Perez is in Spanish. Okay. Fiona Cares.
I'm also in Spanish.
Which room do you want to go to?
Spanish.
Spanish? Okay. And Varga, that's also Spanish, right?
Yeah, I'm Spanish.
All right. And Gian, of course, is Spanish. And Harrison is Japanese, okay. And is German. Jelani Poole, she is French.
Yes, I'm French. Thank you.
Jonathan Marshall, I don't recall that name.
German.
German. Okay. Joseph Frascola.
Italian.
Okay. Julia Moore.
Spanish.
All right. Liam Donnelly.
Japanese.
Okay, I'll put you there. Matt Cabral is German. Megan Olson is French.
Spanish.
Spanish. Okay. Michelle Carrera. You wanted to go to Italian, right? Okay. Why are you still here, though? I don't know. Okay. Okay, then we have everybody there, I think.
Your mic, Sigrid?
Sigrid, your mic. We cannot hear anything. You are mute.
Yep. Okay, I hope I didn't interrupt any important and deep conversations. We were getting really philosophical in the German group, so I said, please keep that for closing statements because we have some time for closing statements at the end. But first, all of you whose appetite our ambassadors and presenters whetted right now in the breakout groups and who want to go abroad badly, here is your opportunity as a STEM student, no matter if you're in engineering or in the sciences, in the computer science or so, you can apply right now for the DAAD RISE program. It's a program that happens at a German university. You're gonna apply to be an undergraduate researcher for a German PhD student. You don't need to speak German. So this is valid for all of you. You can be in the Japanese IEP and still do the DAAD RISE program in the summer. And the database just opened. The deadline for application is December 15th. And the way it works is you go and register at this link, find an internship, and then you will see a database of projects per university.
Yeah. You gotta get.
Jenna, have a question? That's okay. So if you're interested in going to Germany in the summer for like a summer internship, you apply, you look at the database and see, the university in Tübingen has some cool biochemistry projects, or TU München, Munich has projects in materials engineering, and then you apply and give you a hierarchy, 3 different projects, your first choice, second and third. Then your application goes out to the DAAD, which is the German Academic Exchange Service, and they will evaluate everybody's application. This is not just for URI students, this is highly competitive because students from the United States and Canada can apply for this. And since we all know that you are awesome students and hardworking and so on, I'm sure you have a good chance, but you have to have a high GPA in order to qualify. And you also need some very good letters from your faculty. So if you are interested in it this weekend, have a look at the database, apply and ask the faculty mentors for really good letters of recommendation. I'd be happy to write one for you too, if you decide to apply. Okay. Aaron, you still want to say anything about DAAD RISE as our DAAD ambassador?
I guess nothing specifically about that, but also to point people in the direction of myguide.de. It's a website that the DAAD kind of recommends, and essentially it's kind of like a search engine, and you can kind of put in, your major and, what your languages you're going for, and it'll kind of filter out different opportunities that they have for, studying abroad or scholarships or whatnot. So, I'll throw that in the chat.
Yeah, please throw it in the chat.
And then I guess other than that, that's all from me.
Okay.
Feel free to email. I'll probably email in the chat too if you want to email me about this or about my guide or about just literally anything with going to Germany.
Yeah, and also once you are abroad, you can be recommended by one of us, like Aaron was, for becoming a DAAD ambassador. So his task is basically to spread the news about opportunities of study or intern or do research in Germany on campus. And in normal life, you would be invited to a workshop in New York, but Aaron had to do it online and meet all of the other ambassadors from all of the other campuses in the United States. So it's cool. Okay, he was not there. Questions, the IEP team is here to help, but I would like to ask all of the ambassadors and also students, the ambassadors, for some really short closing statements about the year abroad. Every ambassador can say something in 10 seconds. And then I'm asking the students who are in the breakout groups for their major takeaways. We could also have that on a whiteboard, but I think it's cooler to hear you and see your faces for a change. Okay, which ambassador or presenter wants to go first with a 10-second statement on major
I'll go
impact?
ahead. I'll as the only business student, I think, on the call, I'll just say, don't let what we've put out as the program limit you. This is really about what you want to make it, and you can make the most of it as long as you put the work and the time in. So I would say, you know, be ambitious, and as ambitious as you can, and you know, at the very least, then at least you'll hit your mark. If not, do more. So that's the biggest takeaway on my end.
Thank you. Very entrepreneurial, Milan.
Okay, so as a wise teacher once said, take chances, make mistakes, and get messy.
Yeah, I'd like to say that, you know, it's going to be out of your comfort zone. So go ahead and feel free to, you know, go full blown, make it whatever you want it to be. Go to the places that you want to see, make it really count, because it's an incredible opportunity.
I know a lot of you are probably really focused and excited about the traveling part, but don't remember that you guys are going to make amazing friends there. Don't forget about the people, because you will take those away with you.
I would definitely say it's great to make friends when you're abroad, and they'll probably stick with you and when you leave as well, because I know I have friends that still contact me asking how I'm doing. So making connections while you're abroad is probably the best thing you can do for your time there.
Mm-hmm.
As far as actually getting there, I'll give you guys the same advice my parents did it. It's easier said than done, but just do it. If you're even remotely on the fence, just absolutely do it. It's such an amazing program. Like everyone else said, you can make it whatever you want. You're gonna have fun. It's gonna be an awesome experience.
Thank you for all your enthusiasm. Anybody else left? Did we hear from Gian and Harrison?
Oh, Harrison talked, but
Okay. All right. Good. Now, any brave freshman, sophomore, junior, senior about takeaways? What did you like most about learning in your breakout groups? Are you excited to go?
Come on, French team, back me up here.
Hey. Let's hear from the German team. Let's hear from the French team first, in alphabetical order. One representative from the French team. Major takeaway from the breakout group.
It was just relationships with people and making connections, experiencing whatever you possibly can while you're there.
Wonderful. Any volunteer from the German group? Hey, we had like 18 students in there. Takeaway from the participants from the German breakout groups. Who volunteers? That can't be true. Where's everybody? I have to call Kevin, Alex, Katie, Tyler. Okay, we skipped the German group. Go to Italian. No? What did you learn from Professor La Luna and Brian?
Come on, Italian peeps, you got this.
I think it's a bad exercise to end with. They are too shy. They haven't gone abroad yet. Anybody? Spanish team. Nope. Okay. Whom did we forget? Japanese team? Nobody. Not even Katie saying anything. That's surprising.
Sigrid, I'll say something because I was in the room.
Okay.
We're excited to go to Japan. I think one of the things that Harrison talked about and really can be echoed probably for any program is just the thought that maybe just taking as much language as you can before you go and really trying to practice, where it be showing up to conversation hours, anything that you can do, because that was, you know, if you had to have a regret, that would be not being prepared enough for the language to really engage with the people there on the level that that he wanted to. So it just takes a lot of practice, and I think the IEP has a lot of different channels that you can actually practice your language much as you can before you go.
Yeah, thank you, Alyssa, for your very valuable contribution. And any director, so from my point of view, the German IEP, what I see in the reflective essays the students write and so on, I can really see that some go full in and have a transformative experience. They change the way they live, come back healthier because they have more time to attend to their own health, hike and bike and swim and travel, and maybe use public transportation and walk a lot more. So I have been amazed at some of the students coming back and being completely different persons. That would be my take. Professor Eriksson, perhaps, or La Luna, or...
So yeah, I
Yes.
could go ahead and share something that a student said one time before, that she said that her 1 year abroad in the IEP, during that time she learned more than she did during her 4 years of study at URI. So it really is an incredible opportunity for growth on so many levels. Your engineering knowledge, your language skills, and then really the kind of life skills, like just learning how to be independent.
My advice will be to try to mix with people from the local culture and from other countries as much as possible. And I want to say that this is based on my own experience. When I went to England, I moved with people from, you know, what we were the international community. I was in a hostel resident, and we were people from England, Denmark, a lot of people from Greece, France, Spain, and you know, it really opened my mind. It was a completely transformational experience. I think that when you go abroad, you just move with the same people from, you know, your own country, and you speak in English, and you basically are a tourist for 1 full year. When you are abroad, you are not going to take full advantage of this opportunity. If you go there and you meet with the people, you learn from the people there, and you are open to people from all these other nationalities, it's going to be a completely different, much richer experience. So give them an opportunity. And even if at the beginning it's you know, the first week, the first 2 weeks, the first 3 weeks are difficult, just give them an opportunity, and you will realize soon that it's really, really worth it.
Great, thank you. Iñaki, is Michelangelo still there? No, okay. I think that's it. We are 15 minutes over.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody.
All right, closing
You work
statement.
very well. Thank you.
Professor La Luna.
Yes, because I have a baby, so I covered my face, but I think that it's very important what Professor Iñaki said, that you have to go with the spirit of meeting people, of doing experiences if you are living your life abroad, not as a tourist, as a visitor. And I mean, this will change you completely. You will be like a new person, ready to, you know, live a wonderful life, I would say, and have a great career. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you very much.
Very nice closing statements. Thank you all so much. And I would like to express my thanks to Michelle, especially Michelle Carrara, who organized the session together with me. And it was a very good teamwork, including learning some of the technical stuff on Zoom. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you very much, Sigrid. This has been fantastic. I've been super impressed with the whole languages department and the turnout of your students. So thank you all for your attendance. Like I said earlier, you're certainly welcome, and we would love to have you attend any of the other cultural or language focused events throughout the week. But thank you so much for your hard work pulling your end together, Sigrid, because you had a lot more context on your end than I had on mine. So thank you.
Thank you, and hopefully the International Week will conclude with more successful events, and good luck with that. And you will see some of our students hopefully on Thursday for the Demers Scholarship Session. Thank you all the directors, thank you all the great presenters and ambassadors, and have a good evening. Enjoy some Italian, Japanese, German, Spanish food, or wine, or